Hi team, welcome to my session on Coffee with Prab. And in today's podcast, we're going to discuss about how can you demonstrate your GRC experience effectively in any Big Four interview rounds. See, my name is Prab, and for more information, you can check my LinkedIn profile, and I already have a couple of videos on YouTube which talk about the GRC. So in this podcast, we're going to discuss about how can you demonstrate your GRC experience effectively in a Big Four interviews, and because when you're demonstrating a GRC interview effectively in Big Four interviews, it is crucial for making a strong impression. And as a mentor, as a podcaster, I will guide you how to showcase your experience in a compelling manner. Okay. The first important thing, you have to use some kind of a quantifiable examples. You have to prepare some 3 to 5 detailed case studies. You can get it from ISACA IC2 white paper. So prepare 3 to 5 detailed case studies from your GRC experience. Focus on projects where you had a significant impact, and you can quantify the results whenever possible. So in one of my interview, they have asked me the same thing. So I said, okay, I led a risk assessment project for a Fortune 500 company that resulted in identifying 20% more critical risk and also improve their risk mitigation effective by 30%. So when I'm using here my experience, along with that, I'm showing them numbers, 500, 20%, 30%, that build confidence. Second is highlight the cross-functional experience. You have a more chance if you can able to demonstrate your highlight the cross-functional experience. You have to emphasize on the projects where you have worked across different department. You can demonstrate your ability to communicate with your various stakeholders. So example, like in one of my interviews, I said I collaborate with IT, finance, operation to implement integrated GRC platform, and by that I reducing the compliance reporting time by 40%. So here I'm highlighting in my response my cross-functional experience. The third important thing, showcase your technical knowledge. Be prepared to discuss specific GRC frameworks, COSO, NIST, CSF, and methodology you use. Like COSO is called as a mother of all framework, and explain how you have applied this in the real world scenarios. So if you don't have experience on that, use Google Bard, ChatGPT, enter the prompt, you will get the things. Otherwise, you can check my YouTube videos where I've used this GRC interview, I've used this case study. So in my case, as I said, one of my customer got this question, and how he answered is, example, like I implemented a COSO based internal control framework for a client facing a SOX compliance issues, which helped them to pass their audit with no material weakness. So this is how I'm showing my technical knowledge, right? Another important thing, you have to focus on problem solving skills. Describe complex GRC challenge you have faced and how you resolve them. Use situation, task, action, result to structure your response. Example, like when a client struggle with the fragmented risk management process, I design and implement an ERM program. Understood. So, and then I integrate the risk data with the 12 different business unit, and also providing a executive management with holistic view of organization risk for the first time. So this is how, when I given the examples, that build the confidence in the interviewer. Okay. So I told about this client struggle, which is a problem. The problem was fragmented risk management process. And then I talk about my situation, and I took the task, I perform my actions where I solve the complex issues and I provide them value. So that is how you can do. Second thing is that you can also demonstrate the industry knowledge. You can relate your experience to the specific industry relevant to the Big Four. And you can also show the understanding of industry specific regulation and challenges. Let's say example, one of the question was in the healthcare sector, how you align GRC. So the person has replied is, in a healthcare sector, I have helped multiple organizations align their GRC practice with HIPAA requirement, and I reduce the data breach risk by 60%. So here I talk about the particular industry because I'm giving an interview in healthcare. Okay, it's okay. You can have some level of confidence on such statements, okay? Because I'm applying a job in healthcare, so I give the same example. Like in the healthcare sector, I have helped multiple organizations, and I also align the GRC practice with HIPAA requirement and reduce the data breach risk by 60%. Another important thing, you have to highlight the technical proficiency. You have to discuss GRC tools, technologies you have worked with, and also explain how you leverage the technology to improve the GRC process. Exactly. So example, like I led implementation of ServiceNow GRC module. I have led the implementation of GRC Archer for a global manufacturing client, and also I automate 70% of a compliance process. Understood. So that's the most important part. One more important thing when you're looking for the this kind of interview is sometimes they also want to assess you on a strategic thinking. So you have to demonstrate your strategic thinkings. You have to show how your GRC work has aligned and support the broader business objective. You have to provide the examples how you have helped the client and see the GRC as a strategic enabler. Like in one of the statement was, how I conveys by integrating a risk consideration into strategic planning process, I helped client to identify new market opportunities, and also I'm maintaining their risk appetite, which is leading to a 15% increase in revenue from low risk venture. So here I talk about the problem, I talk about the solution, I also give them how my positions, how my job creating a value for you. Next important thing is you have to tailor your experience to the Big Four expectation. Do the research that's the specific GRC service offered by the Big Four and align your experience with the service offering and methodology. Example, like my experience in developing data-driven risk assessment methodology, which is aligned closely with your firm advanced analytic approach to GRC. So this kind of a statement, you have a higher chance to get selected, and you have to show your adaptability and growth. You have to highlight you have grown in a GRC role. You have to demonstrate your ability to adapt the new challenging environment. Like let's say example I'm explaining here is when I'm doing a transition from internal audit to the enterprise risk management, I quickly adapted my skills and I take a more forward-looking strategic approach to the risk functions. So remember one thing, the key is not to list your experience, but to articulate them in a way that demonstrate your values and potential contribution to the Big Four firms. And be prepared to deep dive into any examples you provide. And as an interviewer, may ask the follow-up question to test your knowledge and involvement. And lastly, practice delivering this example concisely and confidently, because your ability to communicate complex GRC concepts are clearly will be the crucial in a Big Four consulting environment, because most of the projects are client side. So do let me know how do you find this podcast, and do share your network so maximum people get benefit of it. And thank you for listening to my podcast. Good day. Bye.